Hey y'all, it's Natalie and it is Mixed Media Frenzy Friday. And today we are scraplifting this amazing layout by Nicole Nawausid. I think I said her name right, I hope so. It looks like she did this layout for Vicky Bouton's design team. So on her layout, she has stamped florals on top of some colored paper or maybe some mixed media paper, and she stamped them in black. So instead of florals, I decided I wanted to use this Catherine Pooler stamp set. It's fruit stamp set, but I want to use second generation stamping because I wanted like the bright colors, but like the lighter version of them. So I'm ghosting the image. I'm stamping each image twice, and I'm only going to use the lighter of the two. And so I guess I probably wasted a lot of paper. I could have just stamped them off on like a scrap sheet of paper, but I wasn't thinking that when I got done. So anyway, I stamped them in a bunch of those different Catherine Pooler ink, different colors. And now I'm going through with my Juniper Mist, which is a navy blue. And I'm going to kind of do an outline around all of them and maybe fill in. Some of them have like seeds on the insides. And that will kind of be my nod to Nicole's florals on her original layout that were stamped in really bold black ink. So I'm going to use this navy blue ink instead of black. And then I have the matching dies that go with these stamp sets, so I will run those through my Big Shot and cut them all out, and you can see them there on the right. Now I'm going to work on my background. I have clear gesso applied all over, and I don't know what was going through my mind. I had this plastic on my desk. I was like, why don't I do the packaging technique? You never see me do the packaging technique on this channel because I'm not good at it. I don't do it that way. And so as you can see, I've made a giant mess. I just like spilled it on the page. It didn't really do what I wanted. So I'm like, scratch that, throw that away. I mean, it got the color on the page, right? And it smooshed it around a little bit, but that's not enough for me. I want it to be bold. On Nicole's layout, it's very bold there and very saturated. So I put that pink down. It was too much water, so it wasn't as bold as I wanted it. So I went in and I added more of the watercolor powder. It is Nouveau Shimmering Powder, I think is what that's called. And this color, I think, is called Cherry Bomb. It's from A Cherry on Top, and I will link down below with my affiliate link if you would like to go shopping. I also have this spray. It is a bright, very highly pigmented yellow color. It is so pigmented that I actually add water to it once I get it on my page. My son is literally in the room going, "Mommy, why did you add more water to that?" But it's because the level of pigmentation just didn't match with the pink, because you can tell that the pink is a watercolor. So I wanted to add a little bit of water to the yellow to give it that same little bit of translucence. And I like how it's mixing a little bit there with the pink. It's not going to mix a ton, but I do have some orange stamping in with those fruits. So I like that it does a little bit of that blending. So now I'm going to add a little bit of yellow over here on the left-hand side. I did make sure to mostly dry the pink before adding the yellow, because though I wanted some blending, I didn't want them just to completely run into one another. And the same thing goes here. I'm adding this, I think it's called Atlantic Burst, in the same shimmering Nouveau powder. And I'm making sure that it doesn't mix too much with the yellow. It can mix a little bit and it gives me that beautiful Kelly green color, but I'm mostly wanting that like turquoisey color, so I didn't want it to mix too much. But I'm going to add that down there at the bottom, and then I'm going to add a little bit more at the top. Sorry, it's a little bit off screen. And then just a couple on either side to just kind of balance out the color on the background, as well as just have it in a few different areas where it will pop. And this is a Mixed Media Frenzy layout. There is a hop every Friday with the Mixed Media core group of girls. Sorry, it's not just girls. Adam's with us. So of crafters, core group of crafters that we all scrap lift a mixed media layout. And it's so fun to see how everybody makes it their own or how they interpret the scrap lift. So I'm just giving it a dry because I'm super impatient. And there's tons of splatters on Nicole's layout. I popped it back up there so you can see all the splatters. So I wanted to make sure that the background is dry before adding the splatters so that they don't just melt into the black background. I want to give another layer of color. And so you can use your paper towel roll and roll over these, and they will just give like a very light, similar color to the background. But I'm going to let them dry sitting there without rolling up any of the pigment so that they're going to dry darker than the more diluted pigment that's on the paper already. In the yellow, you can't really see that as much. And I think it's because it's so saturated on the yellow portion. But you can still see it around the yellow area. And then I kind of add the pink all over a little bit just because I wanted bigger pops of pink, and it's my big portion of the color on the background. So I have this crepe paper, really old thicker set, but I just wear this thing out. I use these thickers all the time, and they're just never ending. But they have this really cute silver glitter on them, and that's where I drew the colors from too, was the words happy, happy, happy. So on the original layout, you can see she has a bunch of labels, and they kind of like just go in with her flowers and go up the page, and they say different things. So I am going to use my LA Studio label set. I got this for Christmas. I think I've used it on every single layout that I have made since then. But I'm going to stamp it in that same navy blue color that I used on the fruits. And then I'm just using a few different small stamp set, these are from a bunch of different stamp sets, and just small words. And I'm going to fill in the 7 labels, excuse me, with a bunch of different words. And like that one was too long to fit in there. So I just kind of split it up a little bit and inked up the 2 separate words at separate times and stamped them closer together so that they would all fit on the label. And then we went out for tacos for my birthday. So of course I needed to put that stamp that said I need a taco. So I am going to tell you that I don't love this picture. I took this selfie and I'm not happy with the way I look in this selfie. But you know what? I'm going to scrap it anyway. And I'll tell you why. Because in like 20 years, when I look back on this, I'm going to be like, oh, look, it's all my besties. And we went out to dinner for my birthday and we had a good time. And I'm not going to be like, oh my gosh, I didn't like the way I looked in this picture. Maybe. I mean, I might look back at the picture and think I don't like that. But it's the only picture I have from that night. So I'm going to use it. So I cleared everything off the page because I wanted to add a little bit more dimension to the background. So I used that same navy blue Juniper Breeze ink pad by Catherine Pooler to add navy blue splatters. And so that will just bring the mixed media on the background to kind of converge and meld really well with the labels and the navy blue that I have in the fruit stamping. So I did use some red tape to stick down the photo because there is so much gesso and mixed media on the background. I didn't want it to come up. And then in the original layout, she also has leaves with her florals. And so I didn't really have any leaves that were stamped to go with my fruits, but I used that glitter border around the thicker to inspire me to cut out glitter leaves out of my favorite Alta New leaf dies. And I use pink and silver. And so I cut a few of those, and I'll use those as like anchors for each of the little fruit clusters and just as added kind of texture and another element in my clusters around the page. So that's all I'm doing now is just clustering up the leaves with the fruit and the labels. I'm going to work my way down, and then I'll add some over there at the top as well. I will do journaling on this page. I'm probably going to stick it under happy, happy, happy over there on the right, kind of like in that little... There's only 2 happies. It's happy, happy in that little white space. But I didn't do that before the photos because I'm not really sure what I'm going to say about it yet. So there was like some negative space in that photo. And I think there was like a blurry man back there. So I just covered it up with that taco label. And I did another little cluster of fruits there. And then I ran that one off the page up there. I stick this down, and then I've kind of run low on fruits. So I actually end up stamping one more pink one and adding it up there at the top. I didn't do that on screen. You will see that in the final photos. But I'll put the link down below to the Facebook group. So come up by, join us, come scrap lift with us. I thank Nicole Noalsid for her inspiration, and I had a lot of fun creating this layout. I love joining the Mixed Media Frenzy group every Friday for this fun inspiration. Check out all the links down below and hop along. Thanks for watching, y'all. Bye.